Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is David Beeson. I'm your host for today's conversation. My guest today is Ken Smith, the owner of Powering Elite Performers. We're going to be talking about his business, journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek of what it's really like to build and operate a business. Ken, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here today. I would love for you to give us a little bit of background of who you are and tell us a little bit about your business as well.
Well, thank you, David. I really appreciate it. It's great to be here, have an opportunity to have a conversation with you. So, my business, it's called Powering Elite Performers. I decided to name it after my customers because my customers are elite performers. They want to be 100% every day. I had spent 30 years owning a IT and business consulting company. And I had said for years that what I wanted to do was be in the wellness sphere and to help people find a path to feel better. We live in a country where the average age people live to might be somewhere around 80, 82, but the average health span is only about 63. So I just celebrated my 74th birthday by going out and running barefoot. And unfortunately, so many people my age, they can't do that. So I want to do things that help people. So I'm kind of on a mission to, as they say, change healthcare from sick care to well care.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love what y'all are doing. That you're able to. Congratulations, by the way, on your birthday and everything, and getting to go out on a run and things like that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Um,
Um, so kind of setting the stage for the viewers and listeners. Generally speaking, what is kind of like y'all's current ownership structure? Are you like sole founder and owner? Do you have a business partner, outside investors?
so that's a good question. For 30 years, I had a company where I had partners, and I didn't want to have any partners anymore. So actually, I'm in network marketing. So I don't
Mm,
own the company that I partner with, but I own Powering Elite Performers. And our mission is to help smart, busy, successful people compete on a daily basis with an eye on staying healthy in the long term. So I'm a solopreneur, but I've partnered with Shackley, which is founded by the chiropractor who invented the multivitamin back in 1915. So I've been a
wow.
customer myself for over 40 years, and I'm partnered with a company that's 70 years old, that's the fastest growing company in its marketplace because of its dedication to living in harmony with nature and doing the clinical research. So I kind of say my competition has always been a celebrity and three digital marketers who just want to promote whatever it is people want to hear. That's what they
Yeah.
do. And instead, we're kind of the boring, geeking people who, live across the street from you or whose kids are in school with yours who want to do things the right way and find an answer that's as close to nature as possible, but clinically proven. And I'm back to my over $500 million in research. So I don't have to
Yeah.
be a genius because there's a bunch of them working really hard for decades to make it all happen.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So, whenever you look at your role currently in the business, like just kind of like walk me through a day in the life of Ken.
So I do a lot of in-person networking. I'm active in BNI. I live in Coral Gable, Florida, beautiful place to live. And I'm active in the Chamber of Commerce because I find business owners and salespeople there, marketers, people who really they depend on their energy to make a living. They
Hmm.
depend on, if you feel like crap and you go to a business meeting, or you're trying to help your team or do something for your family, you're just not going to be as good at it. You're not going to
Yeah.
enjoy it as much. Your team's not going to be as inspired. So I feel that there's an opportunity to help people on a daily basis. Um, and I do a lot of in-person networking, and ask a lot of questions and just have conversations with people about where do they want to take their health? What do they believe is possible? We live in a world where most of us have outsourced our health to a medical system that is really just focused on selling whatever the pharmaceutical rep has been pitching. And
Hmm.
I like to say it's about having side benefits, not side effects. So
Yeah.
everything I do every day, you make a good decision for your business in one area, it better have positive ramifications in others. If you let the
Yeah.
accountants and finance guys make all the decisions and cut all the expenses, and none of your employees are happy, then you're not going to end up with a successful business. In mine, we have to do things that are good for our health and have positive ramifications. I need more energy. A Red Bull or something like that's not the solution.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree completely. As someone who I am in my mid 20s right now, and I had a really bad caffeine addiction up until about a year ago. Still drink caffeine here and there, but I try to drink cleaner versions of caffeine, something more like a cup of coffee. But whenever I was in college and like right after college, I was like, man, why am I so tired? I feel like I'm drinking like 300, 400 milligrams of caffeine. Like, why am I so tired all the time? Then I kind of did my own research. So I'm like, oh, wait, it's actually doing the inverse. It's giving me a jolt of energy for an hour, 2 hours, and then I'm going to have a hard crash from all the caffeine consumption that I'm doing, which is actually making an inverse effect and making me more tired overall.
I think people don't recognize that each and every day, each one of us makes over 300 billion new cells.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't feed our bodies the good stuff to make healthy cells, then what's really happening is I liken it. You want to go build a house and you go to mix the concrete and you don't have any fresh water. So you use salt water. Well, when you move in, you don't notice the difference. But when it all falls apart, you go, well, so nice. I didn't know what happened? It was all so beautiful. Well, our bodies are like that. And it's a bunch of daily decisions. It's about consistency. And I think that's the key to success in business, too. That is one of
Mm-hmm.
my keys is what do you consistently do day after day? And one of the things I don't like to do that I better be doing, because as opposed to just what do I like to do? Um, so it's, that's always been one of the biggest challenges for me in my business
Yeah.
is like sitting down and going, yeah, I really got to do the things that are going to make a huge difference. I've got to do the things that only I can do, most of which is asking questions of my clients or my prospects and finding out what do they need? How can I help?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I want to kind of take it back to something that you said earlier that to let you know my background, I do a lot of marketing as well, but I also work in film and TV. I went to school for film and TV production, and I work in Austin, Texas, and the film scene. Um, and you said something about the pharmaceutical companies. It made me think of a movie that's based on a true story that I love called The Dallas Buyers Club. With Matthew McConaughey. It came out in like 2007, I think. Um, and it's about a guy who contracts AIDS, and he is like trying to go through the FDA, and he notices that the drugs at the time, because it was based in the 90s, the drugs at the time were the things that were like very heavy side effects, all these things. And he went to Mexico and he got a something that wasn't approved by the FDA, but was working just as well as the things that the FDA had approved. And he noticed that there was no side effects at all. He was able to, live a healthy life. And yes, he was still going to die from the disease because it was terminal, but he was able to live instead of 10 years of all these side effects and kind of living through hell. He lived through 10 to 15 more years of just like a normal life and happiness up until the very end. So I think that there's a lot of things there with kind of like what you're saying with like this, I don't remember the exact quote you said, but instead of side effects, you want to be able to have like side positives. And I
Benefit.
think that's very
Yeah.
huge. Even if you do have something terminal or something like that, it doesn't always have to be that for those 10 years or 15 years that everything's got to suck, that you can find ways to where you can enjoy your life and still live a normal life up until the very end.
That's the difference. A couple of the buzzwords that we hear today are lifespan, health span, and longevity. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not about how long you live, it's how long you live well.
Yep.
Years ago, I was at one of our conferences and I met a couple, and her grandmother had been very ill. And she actually had cancer. She was dying and almost checked out. And they put her on a program of our nutritional supplements. It's not like she got over cancer. But she felt so much better. She ended up living for another, I think they said 4 or 5 years. And yes, she died. But suddenly she had an enjoyable few years that she was able to spend, and the granddaughter was able to get to know her grandmother better. And I think what's missing in today's world is, how do we separate all the noise that's out there and find what's really going to deliver what we need to stay healthy and energized? And it's not about turbocharging a motor that's got leaky valves. It's about
Yeah.
getting everything to work properly for as long as possible. It's not as exciting a message as take this and you'll look like a supermodel in 5 days, but
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely get that. I now that I'm whenever I was younger, like in my early 20s, I didn't care at all. I was eating crap. I was drinking caffeine, energy drinks, all that kind of stuff. But now I just had a son. I'm in my mid 20s and I'm like, I still have enough time to kind of turn it around. I need to change my own lifestyle and kind of how I live because I still am young enough to where I have a healthy body, even though I've been eating like crap for years, where now I can still kind of make those changes. And I've even started taking a bunch of supplements and things like that just to kind of get my energy back up and be able to be like, you know what, whenever I'm 40, I don't want to have all my bad decisions catch up to me.
let me throw something out there for you and for everybody who might be listening to this, that Peter Attia basically charges you 300,000 to become his patient and 100,000 a year thereafter to do. So you said about 30, right?
Yeah.
And you have a son. And so your son will be 30 and have a son when you're 60.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have a grandson when you're 90. So do you still want to be around to do things with that grandson? Um, you can't wait till you're 60 or 70 to start doing that. So it's
Yeah.
to put it in perspective, start thinking today, where do you want to be with your grandchildren? Do you want them to come visit you in a rock or somewhere, or do you want to be able to go on a hike with them? So that's a way to get some perspective on, why do I want to take care of myself today?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. So kind of shifting things back kind of like towards the business. I am curious, why did you choose to go into this business? I know that you said that you were doing marketing for a long time. What kind of drew you to this corporation and starting this?
Well, what drew me to it is I spent the first 32 years of my life on decongestants and antihistamines. I was allergic to pretty much everything that's out there. I lived in San Francisco where it's always cold and got heat rash. And I discovered non-toxic cleaning products that didn't poison me or the planet, and nutritional supplements that actually fed my body. And suddenly I was able to have a much better life. And I'd like to say I felt so much better that it was a no-brainer. But now that we know that antihistamines, long-term use, seem to be connected to dementia, early onset dementia. If I'd stayed on that route, probably would have no brain. So it's really a no-brainer decision for me.
Yeah.
It changed me. I wanted to help other people. Like I said, I was in the IT business also for a long time. I did a lot of data recovery. And, in this business, nobody calls me at 2 o'clock in the morning with an emergency.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
So it's a mission. You feel you're doing something useful, and you know that everybody has. You can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink. You can offer a lot of people options. And what's really cool is I've been a customer for 40 years, and I've had customers for 20 and 30 years, because people see the difference every single day of their life. And that's really what drew me to it. Long-term relationships. I'm not so transactional. I like to partner with people. I like to spend time around positive people that inspire me. and I want to be able to contribute to them. So I think those are the things that really drew me to this.
Nice, nice, awesome. Um, yeah, and I'm curious. So since you started this business and stuff, have you had any like big roadblocks or hurdles that you had to overcome?
Yes. Probably the biggest roadblock in today's market is so much stuff has gone to social media. And I wasn't comfortable on social media. So my biggest roadblock is getting over myself and just connecting with people on social media so that I can start to build a relationship. Um,
Gotcha.
and and I guess the other big thing is tracking. It's having a system to do good follow up and track where am I getting results? How many calls did I make? When you're kind of a solo entrepreneur, you can kind of do what you want, but you still have to have some structure. So if it's not working, you got to blame your boss. And of course, I'm the boss. And at this point, the next step in my evolution is to really build a bigger team
Gotcha,
and
gotcha.
other
Awesome.
people.
Yeah. So kind of switching over into marketing a little bit. I know you said that you have a big marketing background and you're trying to get bigger into social media. So currently in place, what are the marketing strategies that y'all are using?
So I've relied really on networking, on
Hmm.
being able to sit down and have a conversation. One of the real issues is being able to show somebody what makes you different. And a label, a landing page, um, anybody can make that up. And I'm in a business where people do. Any four people can start a nutrition company. What do people want to hear? You make up a story and a label, and you have a factory sticking on some generic product that kind of matches up what you want to pretend is awesome. So most of my marketing has been one-on-one, face-to-face, asking for referrals and doing small presentations. I'm starting to do some presentations, like I'm going to do some things at the library,
Nice.
and speak at different events. But really, it hasn't been a lot of. I don't spend money on advertising. But I have a ton of media assets now that the company gives me that I can use and customize. But the important thing is, how do I it's not, I mean, there's no question about the products, but and the results, we know that's covered. So my goal now is I'm also working on a health coach certification, to
Mm,
add a little bit to my 40 years of being a customer and working with these things. But it's about
yeah.
connecting. It's really using social media to let people know I care, and just a little bit of ads here and there, doing things the chamber, being
Yeah.
visible, contributing.
Awesome. Yeah. And just as like a little exercise, because I am curious. So, like, let's say I'm a customer who, just using me as a reference for the audience, I'm a customer who's looking at getting some better health supplements and trying to figure out my next step on my health journey. But I don't really know much about it. I don't really know what to buy. I don't really know where the research is. How would you kind of help me through that process?
So I have an online health assessment that I would have you do.
Hmm.
And then we'd look at what are your health goals? What did it recommend? What works for your budget? Because, budget's important for people. Some people, I mean, I know people who spend five to $10,000 a month on some program.
Oh, wow.
But my customers are more in, like somewhere between $100 and $300 a month. Um, it's my customers don't go spend $500 on a glutathione IV so that they can post it on social media. They're looking
Yeah.
for a solution. So we'd look at what are your health goals? What are the things that are going to deliver that? We'd put you on a program probably for 90 days, and we'd evaluate. I'd give you a questionnaire for you to answer. Look, how do I feel today? How do you feel in 30 days? How do you feel in 60 days? What's the difference in 90 days? Um, it's probably a lot easier in skincare because you can take a picture and you can take another picture in 30 and 90 days and see the difference, right?
Yeah.
So, um, it's so, but it's individual. And I start with my online health assessment, which will come up with a unique program for you. And we take it from there. The other thing that's really important right now is we just launched $1 billion product. Um,
Mm.
which is, as in my background, it's the next evolution of collagen science, supporting the entire life cycle of collagen. And what I mentioned earlier, side benefits, not side effects. So, yes, you know, women are posting pictures of getting rid of their cellulite, and they might be taking it for that or better skin. But we know that it supports better joints because it's originally
Yeah.
was developed for athletes and joints. It gets better, and it even now is proven to improve bone density. So that's not you as a 30-year-old guy. It's not going to be bone density is not going to be your key point, but it's going to be for all the small women in America.
Yeah.
Um, right. So it's, I sit with you, we go over your needs. What do you want? What are you looking for? And we give you a program that matches that.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. Cool. Yeah. Well, let's switch over a little bit to team building. I know you said that you're looking at trying to build a team and things like that. What are like kind of like the type of people and the things that you're looking for over this next year while you look for a team?
In today's world, it's going to be somebody who's comfortable on social media,
Hmm.
so that they can utilize the assets. A massage therapist, a personal trainer are really great um, people for me because they're already being asked by their clients, what should I do? What should I take? And a lot of them are extremely hesitant to recommend anything because it's their reputation, it's their trust. It's if I tell you to take something and it turned out to be wrong, that ruins their reputation. So we've powered over 150 medals in the Olympics with our nutritional products. Nobody's ever going to fail a drug test. We know that they're going to work and people are going to feel better. So I provide all the backup and they will see the results. The clients will feel better, get better results, and it's a way for them to earn an income without just trading time for money. Another huge part of our business is um, professional and entrepreneurial women who are getting pregnant and are having babies and they want something they can do from home. We have an incredible prenatal program. Like the background on my computer is the U.S. Women's 8 crew team that won gold at the Rio Olympics. 7 of those 9 women used our products, and then 3 of them have come back to conference with what they called their Shackley babies because they
Oh,
wouldn't
wow.
run their pregnancy on anything that wasn't clean enough and good enough
Hmm.
to win them a gold medal. So it's a great opportunity for people to build a home-based business. They don't have to quit their job. But I'm kind of a unicorn. Most of the people being successful in my business right now fit that profile I just described for you. And they didn't have to go back to work for corporate America. And their goal for a lot of them is their husbands can quit too and join them in their business.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Well, I think we'll transition to a couple rapid fire questions if you're feeling ready.
Okay.
What is the key to success for you?
Caring about other people and asking questions to find out what is their problem and consistency.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. What's your one piece of advice for other business owners?
Um, Listen to other people who've been successful. Nobody ever made it on their own. You
Yep.
know,
Yeah, I agree with that completely. What's a good book or podcast you're reading or listening to right now?
I was just doing a book called Mitochondria and the Future of Medicine by Lee No, and recently finished Young Forever by Mike Hyman. So I try and listen to, and I do a lot of this when I exercise, and listen to books, and then go. Half the time you have to go buy them so you can make notes in them
Hmm.
and have them available. But yes, those are the last 2 I read.
Awesome, awesome. Well, this is kind of a fun question I always love to ask. If you had a little bit of magic dust and you could pick one spot in your business to sprinkle it, and everything there would be perfect, where would it be and why?
It would be on my confidence in being on social media and feeling better about sticking my face out there.
Yeah.
That would probably be it. But as they told me, just get over yourself and go do it, right? Because each one of us is who we are. We're all going to connect with a group of people that want to listen. Don't fake anything because it'll never work.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I want to say, by the way, your charisma is great. I think you do great in front of the camera. So I just wanted to give you props for that. You're doing great here.
Thank you.
Well, before we get to the final question of the day, would you like to share with our audience how they can learn more, contact you guys, follow y'all?
The easiest way to find me would be go to poweringeliteperformers.com. And that'll take you really to my Shackley website. Um, uh, I'm on Facebook at Ken Smith 305. I'm on LinkedIn, Ken Smith 305 there also, I believe it is. I have an Instagram account, but I don't use it all that much. That's the next evolution in me. So look for me to fulfill what I said and get out there more. But and through my website, my email is ken at poweringeliteperformers.com. If you have any trouble remembering that name, just think you're an elite performer. I named the company after you, and I'm Powering Elite Performers.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I love that. Well, we've come to our final question. That is, what is most inspiring to you today?
It's what we're learning about cellular health and how to put it into action. It's people being empowered to find information outside of the medical system um, to be able to make better health decisions. You know, everybody says everybody's paying more attention. No, but there is a group of the population that is paying more attention. And I'm inspired to see people trying to make better decisions.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Um, yeah, no, I mean, I agree completely with like people like I've seen kind of this new wave on social media, and I'm kind of a part of it too, where it's like people that are in our 20s and 30s and are kind of like, wait, we want to actually try and be healthy. We want to try our best to go to the gym. We want to try our best to take the correct supplements that are needed for our body because we want to be here for a long time, and live not only just a long time, but live a long, healthy life. Like you said, it's like I personally would rather die in my 60s living a long healthy life than die in my 90s and my last 30 years were horrible. So it's like I would rather live as long and healthy as I possibly can.
You have to start when you're in your 30s. I started on these products when I was 32 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm now 74. So it's been a while. It's been a journey. Like everything else we do in life, your health it's a day by day thing for your entire life. So my it starts with eating well, but you can't get everything you need. Our food system isn't giving it to us anymore. Um, and just because everybody else does it doesn't mean it's healthy.
Yeah.
So, be a critical thinker and choose wisely.
Yeah, I agree completely. Well, Ken, thank you so much for this. This was a great conversation. I really enjoyed getting to hear your story. So thank
Thank
you so
you,
much for
David.
sharing. I just encourage all of you watching to save the show and come back and watch it again because Ken really did have some great insights. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we get notifications every time a new conversation drops, just like this one. Thank you to everyone who joined us today, and a special thanks to you, Ken, for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Really appreciate the opportunity to talk to your audience, David. Thank you. And thanks for a great conversation.
Of course. And I will see you all in the next episode.